Carlisle, Pennsylvania for Chryslers at Carlisle. And I got to meet Bob Jennings, and he told me a little bit about what he does, and I think it's the coolest thing. So we're going to hand it over to you.
So again, my name's Bob Jennings. Folks, I am a public speaker and I train CBAs and tax law changes, but was trained as a Chrysler Hemi mechanic and went to college at night. Got to be the only CPA Hemi mechanic in the world. And I'd known about Melissa for about 1.5 years. And when I started reading a little bit and saw that she was trying to be Miss Chief Donut Maker, I was intrigued. And then when I found out a little bit more and found out her grassroots image, which is the people we deal with, which is small business, I said, we got to get together. So there you go.
So what did you bring to Carlisle this year?
Okay, they made 41 69 Hemi Daytonas. Out of those 41, there are 2 unrestored ones in the world, and I brought one of them here. This one sat in a garage for about 40 years. I got it running about 2 years ago, and here we go now.
That's awesome. So we're going to take a look at this car. So Bob, how's your weekend going at Carlisle?
The weekend is hot, just like it is for you. Never a break, I hope, just like it is for you.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly talking to people. And this is the best part, as I've said for many years, you own those cars, you don't own them, you're a caretaker of these cars. Clean cars and restore with cars. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is beautiful, beautiful car. And you're in the Survivor tent.
We are in the Survivor tent, and here they've got 44 cars that have to be at least 85% original. This car's 100% original because there isn't anything's ever been changed, even the tires and wheels.
Even the paint?
Even the paint, even the interior.
You can even tell.
Yeah. It shows some wear, but
Yeah.
it's the way it is.
When you see some wear, you know that it's been through a lot, and that tells a story. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time, Bob. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Has a 71 Charger with a Hemi, the same exact car as my dad. The only difference is my dad has a 440. He's got the cooler car. He's got a Hemi in it. So, Bill, tell me a little bit about this car. How'd you come about it?
Well, I found the car at the Columbus Chrysler Nationals in 2011, and it was for sale, but I didn't buy it at that point. And I was attracted to it because it's green, which is my favorite color. All the cars are green, and it's a Canadian car. I knew. I live in Toronto, and I wasn't looking for a car, but it just looked really nice, presentable, and it had a Hemi. I looked it over, and it all looked legit. It was 36,000 miles, and then I had talked to the guy and stuff, but I didn't buy it at the time. Then I saw it 5 years later, and I got it in Florida.
So it was kind of like meant to be, you know, because you waited 5 years and you still came about it.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to let it go the second time.
Oh no, you can't. What is it about Mopar that you love?
Well, I like Mopars. Well, my first ever car was a Charger, a 66. So I fell in love with that. And I like them. Mopars are exciting cars. You know, they have all the colors. In their day, they were the big thing. They were, some of the best engines, the high performance cars. Yep. Everybody loved Mopars. A lot of choices, colors, stripes, engine combinations, transmissions. So I guess probably excitement is what I think about when I think of Mopar.
Yep. I agree with that. Yeah.
Right. So and they're good looking. you know, remember back then they used to change cars every year, so you always look forward to the new models.
New models, yeah.
And it was just great. And they just used to get better and better and better. When my dad was looking for a brand new car, when he was in his 40s, I was a teenager. I was 15, 16. So you're very impressed. I was seeing these cars in the showroom brand new. So you remember that, and then he didn't buy one of those, but still. So that's the era of cars that I like in the Mopars, and he had Plymouths all the time. So that's another thing, you know, to sort of go by what you were used to.
It's good to see that the muscle car era isn't really dying out, you know? I mean, if you look at the cars here, I mean, there's so many of them, and it's just great to see the history of it.
Attendance is increasing each year, it's not decreasing. And I know that people are always wondering because it's an older hobby, and you know, we're aging, and everyone seems to be waiting for things to tail off, but it doesn't seem to be happening. So that's obviously a very good sign.
Oh yeah, it's a very good sign.
I think we love our cars more than ever. So it'll keep going, I think.
And I think the community is very loyal and very strong, you know? Yeah, everyone here that has come out this weekend, you know, it's what keeps Mopar and Dodge alive, so.
Yeah. So it's great.
Good, thank you so much for taking the time for me to interview you. It was great. I love the car. I grew up with the same car basically, so it was really awesome to get to interview you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Butch Leal, one of the first drag racers.
Well,
right?
I was 16 years old, and at that time in California, you get driver's license. But 16 was I got them a lot earlier than that. But my birthday. I got a 1960 El Camino, three two barrels, a 4-speed, 450 horse, and I eventually got to the drag strip, and I won the first race I was ever in.
That's awesome.
Well, that got me hooked, of course.
Well, of course
I was totally hooked.
Yeah.
And then Chevrolet noticed, GM noticed at that time. And I got a 409 in 62. 2 4-barrels that would fly. Ran very good with it. Then I got a 63 aluminum front end car from General Motors. Then I got General Motors quit in the middle of 63 because they sold 52% of the cars in the United States. So the government stepped in and they had to split Cadillac, Oldsmobile up, but they weren't going to do that. So they pulled out of racing. 2 days later, I signed with Mickey Thompson and I was racing a Ford. Well, I did that in 63, 64. I won Indianapolis in 64. Won the race there, and Ford didn't have a contract for me for the following year, and a fellow tapped me on the shoulder, and I went outside, and there was Bob Cahill was the head of Chrysler Racing, and he said, we're looking for 4-speed drivers. I was a manual transmission.
Yep.
They had all automatics, most of them. So I started racing Chrysler, and it was Hemis. It was the most wonderful
I'm sure
thing.
you never looked back after
that. I never looked back with the Thunderbolt. Actually, I started there. Then I got funny cars. You know, I had the funny car there, fuel funny car. After I did the Allard wheelbase car.
That's awesome.
They made 6 Plymouths. Chrysler, when I signed with them, they made 6 of those Allard wheelbase cars in a Plymouth and 6 Dodges.
Awesome.
Okay, and they were factory drivers.
That's very cool.
Oh, it was cool. And I was fortunate enough, honey, to be world champion with Pro Stock, and and then I'm in 3 Hall of Fames. The Super Stock Hall of Fame, the Mopar Hall of Fame, and the International Hall of Fame was the best. Getting in there was a great thing, and I'm really. I don't know how I can say it. I'm sort of proud of myself.
You should be.
I never left wanting to do it all my life, every day. I went through all of my career life without having a real job. Now, anybody can't say that much.
Not at all. Not at all.
And something I loved, and a very good Lord took care of me, and I never had a real bad accident. I hit the guardrail, and people turned upside down. I had to miss them, and did stuff like that. Little crazy.
Racing story. Your favorite racing moment ever on the track? I know. I'm sure that's a hard question.
Well, there's a lot of them, of course. Racing I work for General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler. I would say I went to a race in 1965. In '65, I had the Aller wheelbase car, and I had the Super Stock car. Okay. And it was their national race, and I ended up with both of my cars in the final. So I had to put another driver in the Super Stock car, because that car was as thin as a beer can. It was as it did. And I was afraid if it ever turned over, it was going to hurt somebody. So I always drove it. And it was pretty much one of my favorite cars. It was so fast. It was incredibly fast. So I was winner and runner-up. That was a great moment. Well, of course, winning Indy twice is a great moment. And I won Indy with a Thunderbolt, and I came right back and won it with a Chrysler, a Chrysler Hemi.
Awesome. Do you have any advice for young people like me who want to get into the pros?
Well, I would say it's just like yourself. You want to do it and get a junior dragster, make a few laps to feel the speed. What you have to do to be a driver, you have to let the car tell you. You can't just do it and just steer it down through there. Well, you got to feel the car, and you could come back to me and say, I felt to shake the tire, I felt to do the clutches this. You have to be able to, it takes, I played on the senior golf tour, and the only way you get it out of the ground. Well, you have to make laps, and so you get it out of the ground, So I would say that's where I would start, like my grandkids, junior dragster. I think it's a neat deal like you do. I think it's a wonderful thing. And then you build up to go faster and faster. Yeah, I ran 200 back in the day with a dragster, fuel dragster. But that was in like 1963. I didn't like it because
200 miles per hour in 1963.
Front engine car threw oil in my face, and I didn't like it. I want my door slammer back. Okay, now they got the engine in the back, and they asked me, interviewed me for this commercial thing they're going to do on the story. His question he asked me is this: what do you regret not doing? I said, what I want to do is run a drag. I want to run 300. I do want to. I hope I don't pass away. Somehow I'm going to have to get a ride and run a dragster and run 300. I don't want to run a funny car that blower. I don't know that. I know the dragster. If it blows up, I don't give a damn.
Because the motor's behind you.
Yeah, it's behind me. Right.
We can thank Don Garlitz for that one.
Yeah, that's right. I was at Long Beach when clutch came out of his front engine car and cut half his foot off. Well, he immediately showed up at Pomona with a rear engine car.
Oh, wow.
That was cool.
He's just,
wow. Well, guess what? He went with a rear engine. And everybody started building rear engines. That was a smart drive.
You said the driver needs to know how the car feels going down the track. My dad always says you're not getting into a car, you're strapping it on. It's a part of you when you're on the track. So you have to feel everything and anything. Come back to the pits. Tell you exactly how you felt. And that's what I've learned to do, even in juniors, Juniors, of course, it's a small version of a car, but
you can feel it.
You can feel everything in that car, and that's where I began to learn.
Oh, yeah, that's what you have to do, honey. Very important.
Yep, it is.
Very important.
It is.
And see, like if you want to run top fuel now, like you said, well, you got to know when it gets on the tires, it shakes the tire, you have to let off it or blow the blower off of it. So it's laps. No, I don't have the money for you to blow 10 blowers off.
No, of course not.
Learning. You got what I'm saying? Yes. So there's not many people going to throw you in. got to prove it to them
Prove
that you
that
can
you know
feel
how to
it.
drive
Yeah,
it.
oh yeah, like they first started. Well, then they learned, and they did they're very, very good. And I guess, well, you know, even pro stock.
Yeah. Yep.
Erica Anders is wonderful. I mean, she does a wonderful job in pro stock. And I felt very fortunate. She introduced me into the International Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's
World
awesome.
champion.
That's awesome.
It was cool.
Good for
It
you.
was really. This is a 1975 B modified car.
Okay.
Okay, what it is, weight per cubic inch, runs modified eliminator. I built it in 75. 10 days. I only had 10 days to build it. So I had a lot of guys on it, working on it, and I was runner-up at Pomona, and I won Gainesville with it the next race. And I was modified driver of the year with
Look
this car.
at you.
And,
You still racing it? You still taking it down the track?
No, Denny Lobby found it. He's my buddy, a real good buddy. And he found it, built it back exactly the way it
That's
was
awesome.
originally. Read it, I mean, didn't have to, and I built the engine for him, and
Yep.
back like I ran it and everything.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's a beautiful car. Beautiful.
Cars with a lot of money.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's a beautiful car. Beautiful.
Don't hit your head on the ball.
Woo.
There you go.
Oh, this is awesome.
Same thing.
Yeah, this is
You
nice.
have this 4-speed manual transmission, so you got to push the clutch in the shift.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
But you can see how hard it is to push down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, because I was a 4-speed driver. Okay.
That it takes. You are too like. This is old school. This is grassroots drag
That's
racing.
the way it's old school. They didn't have Lencos and back then. So now, I'd always tell them. I would tell them, "You got a fire truck today? Yeah." I said, "Get it down to the other end." He said, "Why is that?" I said, "I'm going to burn the lever up."
No, this is pure grassroots. You're going old school. You've raced it old school since day one. This is awesome. This is really cool.
I'm really proud of it, and he made it. Denny made it exactly like it was from the original thing, and paint job, down to every detail. And it's gorgeous. People love it. It's back then they look at it. It's got 16 spark plugs.
Wow.
And they went, "Whoa!" Everybody looks at the spark plugs.
Yeah, I want to take a shot of the spark plugs.
Oh,
yep, I see them. Yep.
Chrysler came out with that.
So you got 8 on each side.
1973.
Okay.
Oh, I ran it in pro stock with 16 plugs. Then this is actually a pro stock engine.
Okay.
You could run it modified eliminator. Okay, so that's what I did, and I built some pretty fast Hemis.
Heck yeah. This is really neat. Very, very cool. It really shows where racing was back in the day.
Yeah,
you know.
honey, I did it for 4 decades. I'm now.
You're the OG. You are the original.
Yeah, I'm now 80, and I love it. I feel 39, but I'm 80.
Hey, that's all right. Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you. It honestly was an honor, like, to get to know you and know your history. I mean, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Wolf, the owner of Mopar Collector's Guide and Mopar TV, and also my first ever sponsor on my car. So it's honestly an honor here. Rob asked me to come out and I got to display my car at one of his booths, and it's just been a really fun weekend. The first question I wanted to ask you, Rob, is, so this is the 35th year of Mopar Collector's Guide's birthday, right?
It is, yes.
So could you tell me how it all started for you?
I had a Mopar club, and I was working for a gas station. It was the only real job I've ever had. And my boss had a Corvette, and he kept telling us, "You Mopar guys, you can't even buy parts. There's a Corvette trailer and there's a Ford trailer." And so, not knowing any better, I was 19, 20 years old. I was like, "Well, I'll show you. I'm going to go start a magazine. That's easy to do, right?" And that's really how it all started, just out of spite.
About Mopar, that you've just dedicated yourself to, sharing the love, the loyalty to this community.
Well, I mean, I love the cars. You love the cars first, and then once you start getting into the community, I mean, all these people that come to these shows are our friends, they're our family. I mean, we come every year, They come back and see the girls. They come back and, you know, they bring cookies to them. They bring drinks to them. Guys bring beers to Frank. I mean, they take care of us. I mean, it's not like you go to Ford shows or Chevy show and everybody's independent. And the Mopar people are all kind of stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the racing community where if something goes wrong, like, yeah, you're our competitor, but we're going to help you because we want you to be competitive.
Yeah.
You know?
So for instance, Mopar Action had to leave, so we're hauling their stuff to the next show for them. It's just something you got to do.
I'll come to Chryslers at Carlisle every year. What other events do you go to?
Oh, we do probably 20 shows a year. So we start in the wintertime, we start on the West Coast where it's warm, and we work our way across. So I mean, you name it. If there's a Mopar show on a given weekend, we have somebody there. We have 3 different crews. Now we bring them all together for Carlisle because we have multiple booths, but we can send these guys anywhere, you know, on any given weekend. So we try to do as many as we possibly can just to spread the love and get the magazines out there.
That's awesome. For those who don't know, Chief Donut Maker, the brand ambassador contest that Dodge put on last year, Rob actually wrote an article about me as his pick.
I did, before you got chosen.
Before I even got chosen to be top 10. That was an honor in itself, honestly. My dad is subscribed to Mopar Collector's Guide, so when he got the magazine and he was going
Was he
through
shocked?
it, he was shocked. He was like, wait a minute, Melissa, there's an article about you. I was like, oh really, that's so cool. And so I got to read it, and it was really, I never had an article written about me, so it was really, really cool.
So it was really a group effort. Everybody in the office got together and we watched all the videos because we were trying to guess of who was going to be there.
Oh my God, that's so cool. So it was like a real reality
there were
show.
like 3 or 4 people in there. We were going back and forth. Okay, which one's it going to be? And then we kind of narrowed it down. There's, oh, this is the perfect one.
Oh, that's awesome. Collector's Guide and Mopar TV on the car. What are you excited for?
Well, I think you bring a different demographic to us. I mean, we deal with an older demographic. I mean, our demographic is really 50 and up. And they still read magazines. And those guys read magazines, and we want to bring more younger people in. Because we have online presence too. We have an online magazine and a print magazine. But I just think that bringing younger people into the sport is important. And you being younger and you being into racing gives us a different dynamic and a different way to reach people and to show them about Mopars. And what I like about what you do is you were taking, you know, infants and kids and putting them in there and putting them in your car. And that's really when, you know, anybody gets hooked on this, it's really like 12, 13, 14. And if you have that experience with a car or a race driver or something you can connect to, it sticks with you all your life. And that's what makes the brand so special, because these guys and girls just love it. You know, it's something that clicked in their brain when they were young, and they can't get around it.
No, I mean, it happened when I was 10. I took my first burnout in my junior, and that was it. I never looked back.
Yeah, exactly. So that age demographic is very important. Not just for getting people into cars, but you could go so many different bad directions in life. And, you know, kids need something solid to grab onto and enjoy, and you know, it's hard work, so it makes them work for it. It's an opportunity now. When we started the magazine, you know, that's a very expensive endeavor to do, and the average person couldn't do it. And we struggled for many years being able to get to where we were. Now you've got the internet, and you've got different avenues like YouTube, and you've got different writing platforms that you can get on. There's lots of opportunity, and it's a fast emerging world of different things. The only advice I have is, you know, love what you do. If you love what you do and you work at it, you'll be able to find a way to sell your material or brand it. But if you don't love it, you're not going to be able to do this, because it's twice as much work as what you get paid for. It just really is.
No, it is. It is. I'm learning that now.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, if you want a real job, get a real job.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to work, you know, 80 hours a week doing this, and you can make the same amount of money. But if it's something you love, it's not really a job.
Exactly. If what you love, you're not working a day in your life.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
But you're going to be working really hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you know what? You start somewhere, and you started somewhere, and you started from the ground up, and now look at where Mopar Collector's Guide is.
Yeah, I started when I was 21, so I was young when I started. I had a great partner in it, and really our success, and I'll say this to your last question too, bring people in to your organization that are really good and really talented, because that's how you grow.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be a really good driver, but you might not be a really good tuner.
Yes.
You can't do it all.
No.
You can't do it all. So as you build your organization out, the people are who are going to make you.
Yes, the people you surround yourself
I'm just the circus leader. You know, I've got great people that go out and do their thing.
Gosh. All weekend, bouncing around.
Yeah, so,
every booth.
So going back to the freelance guys, I mean, there are people out there looking for really passionate people that are honest, hardworking people. So there's lots of opportunity out there for someone who wants to work hard. But it all comes down to, do you want to work hard?
My last question to you is, do you think you found your left foot?
I don't know. I'm always looking for what's next and what's more. So, you know, I always keep it on the ground, wide
throttle.
open.
Yep.
You know, if you never stop, you never grow old.
Yes,
maybe
exactly.
until you die.
Exactly.
But you know, we're still having fun with it. But you know, it's been wide open for 35 years.
Yeah.
And we don't plan on changing it, so.
You don't have to be a racer to have a lead foot.
Yeah,
that's for
exactly.
sure.
So, yeah, it's on the floor.
Yeah, awesome. All right, thank you so much, Rob, and thank you for everything you've done for me this week. It's honestly been a great time. I had so much fun. I learned so much, and it was just, you know, it was definitely an experience of a lifetime.
Well, we're looking forward to what's to come.
Thank
So
you.
this is just the beginning.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.